Alright, Chad and Steve with another video, and it's kind of the end of the day, guys, and it's been a long day, but I got a story to tell you. The first thing I want to tell you, though, it didn't happen at this hospital. It happened at another hospital. It was told to me by another chaplain. We share sometimes stories, and this is one of them. And it's about a Spanish woman who had cancer, brain tumor, real bad, very advanced, and from what I understand. And so what happened is that the doctors came in and told her that she only had a few months to live. The other thing that was added to it, because where the tumor was located, it was going to affect her memory. So in other words, she wouldn't, after a certain period of time, she didn't know who she was. She wouldn't recognize her family whatsoever. So that was really compounding it, and needless to say, she was really, dealing with a lot. And, and she, at that night, she's medicated, and, she got really pretty bad headaches, because of the tumor. So she's pretty heavily medicated, but she prayed that night. And a family member came in during the day and gave her two pictures. One of Jesus Christ, the second was of Mary. She's Catholic. And so they brought a picture, and they also brought her a rosary. And so she prayed that night. She did the rosary, from what I understand, and she also, she looked at and she prayed to Mary. And she said she would, she was hoping for a miracle, that she could be with her family and, continue her life. And if that wasn't going to happen, it would be God's will. And so, but anyway, that night she was kind of medicated, from what I understand, and she went back to sleep. She fell asleep. What she also recalled the next morning, though, she felt what happened to her. She felt heat. She felt heat around her body, and mostly concentrated on her head, the way she described it, and it was really, really warm. And she said she was kind of medicated, so she went back to sleep. And the next morning, she wakes up, and I said she usually has headaches, and it's pretty bad. There was no more. There was no more headaches. There was no more symptoms whatsoever. Instinctively, she knew she was going to be okay. She knew it. But here's the thing: the doctor came in, to check on how she was doing, and she told him the story. So on the doctor's end, he's thinking back of his mind, she can't, she's just wishing all this, and she's kind of contending, dealing with what's going on with her, and he didn't believe her whatsoever, and because he knew the situation was pretty bad. But she kept being persistent that she was really okay, and the only way that she can verify, there was a certain kind of test that she would take, and it's pretty evasive from what I understand. And the doctor was extremely reluctant even to do it, but she pleaded with him. She told him the story, and kept telling the story, and she said, I know I'm okay. And so finally, after a certain period of time, he agreed to do it. And I think what I was told, 3 or 4 hours later, she went through the procedure and came back, and the doctor, after a little period of time, got the results. And to his amazement, there was no more cancer. There was no more tumor. Now you have to understand, the doctor was telling her, thinking in the back of his mind, she's in a pretty bad way, and he's looking at the results, and he's checking with the nurses, the staff. Is this right? Is this the right? Just wanted to make sure that's the right patient. It was. So he's holding this piece of paper with the results on it, and there was no cancer. And so he had to go back to tell her, and I would imagine it would have been pretty tough for him to tell her, but the miracle happened, everybody. That's exactly what happened. The cancer was absolutely totally gone. There was no even anything. There was nothing there. And so he went back to tell her, and he said, I just knew I was okay. And she said, what happened to me last night was it was a miracle. And so, from what I understand, she's living a normal life, and she, with her grandchildren, with her kids, her family, and their life is going on. And things happen at the hospital, guys. And even this hospital, things in other hospitals, things that cannot be explained. All of a sudden, the next day, the next hour, 2 hours, whatever, it's just like it's all gone. And it's happened to me, I think 2 or 3 times since I've been here, that there's been miracles like that. So miracles do happen, everybody. And the thing, and I have talked about this before, we're in good hands. And I know, and I've always talked about this before, we go through tribulations, we go through our stuff, and sometimes it's really rough, and other times we get through it. And this is one such case. In this case, it was a miracle for her. And I think a lot of it too, her faith was very strong, and so she really prayed. Even though she was medicated, she really prayed, and you know, and it happened. She was fine, and she's living a normal life now. The thing I've just got to say that, you know, things happen to everybody, and pretty amazing stuff. I see this at the hospital all the time. Some pretty amazing stories, everybody. And I told some of the stories already in some past videos. Pretty amazing stuff. But know this, you know, and I might reiterate again, you know, why God created you is to be with Him forevermore. You have a relationship for the rest of eternity. It never ends. You're always with Him. He's always with you. And so, and this is one particular case, you know, that relationship. You know, thick and thin, God is with this one lady, and He's always with us. Thick and thin, He's always with us. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and as always, I hope your day is going well. I really appreciate your time for watching the video. Until the next video. Again, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you again.